Welcome, brothers and sisters. I'm excited to share with you my knowledge on how demons affect relationships. This is a topic I have at least 12 years of experience in, both direct personal and family relationships, as well as other friends and more distant connections in media. I should say that these experiences I've observed include, but are not limited to, chronic behaviors of drama, aggression, threats, insults, abuse, manipulation, lies, deceit, bipolar and borderline personality traits, as well as gaslighting. We are all complex beings with many facets to our minds, emotions, and behaviors. But when mental, emotional, and behavioral follies are left unchecked, they can not only be detrimental and harmful to those around us, those we care about, but the shades of gray and black within us attract the like, such as demons, dark spirits, shadow people, tricksters, shapeshifters, succubi, incubi, dark gods or goddesses, fallen jinn, evil aliens, and other nefarious ones. Oh yes, they are all real, and more diverse and nasty than a moldy box of chocolates. So let's get into today's discussion. The topic of demons in relationships, how they affect and destroy our relationships, and how we can remove them from us and others with their consent. What is important to understand is that there are many kinds of malevolent, deceptive, abusive, and evil entities out there. The first that I will tell you about are demons, especially succubi, incubi, blood circle demons, fallen jinn, and dark gods, as a focus for this video. A succubus is a female demon that usually possesses a person for a long period of time, sometimes a lifetime, and can attach to a powerful soul at birth if the succubus travels through a bloodline, and it may actually skip some ancestors. So, for example, a powerful soul who's born could inherit a succubus, or it will choose to attach to them from even a grandparent or a great-grandparent who was inhabited by it or possessed by it. Succubi are sexually seductive and thrive off of siphoning power from an old and powerful soul. Incubi also siphon power from a soul or souls in an intimate relationship. But incubi are the male form of this demon. Both are oriented toward sexual seduction, manipulation, and abuse. Such power siphoning can cause low self-worth, low libido, doubt in one's strength, energy blocks of all kinds, in chakras and throughout their energy body, and to keep their nervous system in a fight-flight state. If you find yourself in a relationship with someone who's possessed by, or you are the subject of a succubus or incubus, they can be removed by someone who's experienced in safe demon banishment and entity removal, such as myself or another practitioner. one woman I spent years dating. I later got confirmation from 2 psychics that she had a succubus influencing her that she was born with. We used to argue, disagree, and even get into serious fights. There were times that she expressed excessive anger and rage, although I was not the source of it, and it originated from previous unresolved relationships. She was a manipulator, and her gaslighting would drive me into bouts of anger, heavy resentment, and even depression at times. I stayed with her though, because we did have a strong bond of love between our souls. It was only after I hired a psychic friend to help remove that nasty succubus from her that she started to heal and lighten up. I had already become attuned to working with the archangels at that time, and it was a relief and joy for me to watch Archangel Michael and his legions of angels detain that demon as she cried and screamed, but she really had no choice. That lovely woman's energy quickly healed. She chose to start seeing a therapist in the days following that removal, and right after the removal, she chose to start wearing a pretty angel necklace by her own will. This is how profound, real, and valuable a demonic or evil entity removal session can be, especially when assisted by the angels, who provide divine healing energy to follow. It is through this career of demon banishing that I have seen relationships see smooth sailing again, or for the first time, and marriages that were on the brink of divorce snap back together and become a happy, integral family. The blood circle class of demon are fairly rare, and I've only encountered one once in my 12 years on this job. He was in possession of my first intimate girlfriend, who is now deceased, and whose soul I personally banished after she committed demonic acts herself later on. I tell that saga of my life in a 3-part series titled A Chronicle of Amara that I published on this channel earlier this summer. I was only 17 years old when I witnessed this demon try to choke a younger teenage boy to death. I stopped that attempt, suppressed the demon with crystal energy, and later banished it from her in a sacred group healing. Days later, Emma happened to mention to me that she felt different, like she had lost a source of energy, and she was not feeling like her usual self anymore. This was confirmation to me that the oming and banishment I attempted worked. Unfortunately, I believe the demon did later reattach to her after we broke up. And more than a year later, she took her own life, unrelated to our breakup. Demons will usually reattach to a person who did not give consent to the removal, and if the host does not take radical responsibility for their behaviors that attracted and fed the demon to begin with. If you encounter or find yourself involved with a blood circle demon, They can be extremely dangerous, often causing their host to be bipolar, borderline personality traits, or even suicidal. Their goal is to commit murder in the name of a blood circle sacrifice and become more powerful evil demons. Please reach out to me if you encounter such a demon, so that we can remove it with the host's consent. I can be messaged at Troy J. Bacon on Facebook, Substack, or Instagram. Or you may message my Peaceful Reign business page on Facebook. The jinn are not of this world and are said to have been created by Allah before the angels and live in a completely different dimension. Because they're of a different dimension, they need to create contracts that a human will agree to in order to perform magic and exist here. Some of them were once the most devoted beings to Allah, but it seems that pride, arrogance, greed, and other follies have caused some of them to fall and prey on men and women. I have seen this type of dark being possess, follow, harass, and bully only the most divine-natured and beautiful men and women. And I do mean Christed and angel souls. Because the jinn are not of this world, and Allah created them according to Islamic knowledge, they are unfazed by the divine energy of Christian, Catholic, English, or Hebrew prayers. They can only be repelled and banished by the Ayatul Kursi chant when it is spoken in the Arabic language, because the Arabic language is the closest phonetic language to their language and their nature. The Ayatul Kursi is available as a spoken chant on some other YouTube channels and websites on the internet. Both times that I've removed fallen jinn from a soul, that soul has been of divine origin, and the jinn were in a type of posse, if you could call it that. It was accompanying the dark god Yaldabaoth, whom I'm about to describe in the next segment. So far, in my 12-year demon banishment career, I've only come across one dark god who possesses and torments divine souls. I call him Little Y, but in ancient Gnostic traditions, he is named Yaldabaoth. He is known in the Gnostic tradition as a false god, a demiurge that desires to keep the world blind and supposedly accidentally created the material world after Sophia gave birth to him, because she thought that she had the power to birth a child without a man impregnating her. Thus, his name in Hebrew means child of darkness. He is pure ego and attempts to keep those with great divinity and spiritual gifts blind and bound to the material world. My first removal of him was from a man with Christ energy. Little Y was causing him to commit repeat adultery outside of his marriage, smoke excessively, be masked by the use of AI avatars, and abuse DMT, and call his experiences with it capital T truth. In addition to being puppeted by little Y, he was being followed and bullied by several jinn who were frequently forcing the most profane types of thoughts into his mind. One useful tool that I learned about dealing with this entity is that he is deathly allergic to Metatron's cube, which I also wear every day. Archangel Metatron is the only archangel recorded as having lived as a human named Enoch, whose biography was left out of the King James Version of the Holy Bible. Metatron's cube contains within it all of the Platonic solids, the essential geometric forms, 13 circles, and a Star of David. I believe also the crucifix and crosses can be found within it. It is because of my experience that I will never depict any form of Yaldabaoth without Metatron's cube in front of him. After my work of removing Yaldabaoth and a gang of fallen jinn from this client, he returned home to his faithful wife and kids, and their energies have bounced back to their full God-given glory. They are clearly a happy, married power couple, and both of their divine souls are living a demon-free life. This is one case of how removing demonic and evil entities from someone can save a precious marriage or relationship. My fling with Amara and her blood circle demon was a story of too little too late. She had already become sexually abused, addicted to smoking weed, drinking alcohol, getting wasted at raves on weekends, and not the worst of the bunch was listening to profane music, all before the age of 15 when I met her. A bit I read about the demon's name that possessed her is that his name also means sightless or blindness. Even if we had stayed together and kept him away by some means, she would have been years, if not a lifetime of work to fix up. Possibly very complex and difficult work too. But that would have been at risk of my walkout soul being more heavily abused and traumatized by her and her demon, being as half-sighted and reckless as he once was. If you find yourself with a partner who is possessed or troubled by demons or dark spirits, there's always hope and a way to remove and banish them. The archangels, Mary Magdalene, Saint John the Baptist, Yeshua Christ, and the Ascended Masters, who graduated as souls from this planet, are always available to call upon, and they want to help you. Also, help is always available through a demon banisher and Reiki energy healer, such as myself, and my Finding True Self membership at Peaceful Rain. If you're in the same boat as me and have lived through relationships that you could not save, that were riddled with abuse, manipulation, gaslighting, bipolar or borderline tendencies, and that partner was surely accompanied by demons or dark spirits that influenced them and fed off of their dark behaviors. I advise you to never blame yourself for the things that are not in your power to change. Go easy on yourself. Forgiveness and loving kindness is miracle magic. With some people and situations and relationships, there's unfortunately nothing we can do to change or save someone if we had not known the tools to do so. Sometimes there is little we could have done, and it is too late. And the time of letting go, setting yourself free, can start right now. If you find yourself still in a relationship, a partnership, or a marriage with someone who expresses borderline personality disorder traits, who manipulates or gaslights you, and you suspect or know that a demon or dark spirit is attached to them, there is always hope, and here are a few things you can do that I have found to be effective. We cannot change others, but when a dark spirit is possessing them, it is harder for them to ever change themselves or realize that they can. Sometimes the best of your intentions and attempts to comfort or help them are never enough. But what can help, what can intervene, or show you a solution is prayer, ceremony, and invocation of the divine realm. Prayer, whether from a religion or not, is always underrated and can yield miracles. I have found that speaking my sorrows, asking for help, acknowledging my high self-worth and that of my partner, invoking and requesting for help from specific benevolent gods, goddesses, or nature spirits yields changes and healings in tense times. To do this, I recommend going outdoors, far away from other people, in a park, a natural area, with wild water, trees, foliage, sun or stars, and biodiversity. I have summoned or moved along positive changes in relationships and manifested new peaceful and good paying jobs with this method. What is most important when praying is your faith. You must have absolute and unshakable trust and faith in a higher power. You must have absolute and unshakable trust and faith in a higher power, the benevolent power that you're praying to in order to see results. The other side knows if you're unconfident in them or doubtful, and they will respond as so. Those of you who are already adept in any tradition or way of ceremonial or ritual magic that can cast positive energy, create healings, and banish demons, more power to you. Traditions that have their particular ways of such ceremonies and rituals may include, but are not limited to, Native American shamanism, Siberian shamanism, Celtic and Nordic paganism, African shamanism, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and other ancient traditions. A ceremony is a rite of passage with a particular focus that may only be performed once. In contrast, a ritual may be practiced at particular times or repeatedly when deemed necessary. Both accomplish something and change the image of a person, object, place, or circumstance. Rituals can be super simple or can be more complex with particular processes and instruments or materials involved. I prefer to keep my rituals simple most of the time, but effective. Once, when I was feeling frustrated, angry and resentful toward a partner after a fight, I simply spent some time by a lakeside. Under the starry sky, I invoked Norse pagan gods and goddesses that I feel close to, and sprinkled pinches of lavender seeds into the water after short prayers. Within a short period of time, I noticed changes and breakthroughs for both of us that I could not have expected. Magic, negative entity removal, and relationship healing really can be that easy when you ask sincerely with a clear and open heart and strong faith. But you have to be open after you request and allow spiritual allies and higher powers to work their divine magic from the outside. Respecting the will of everyone involved is also essential, as the will is a gift from God, Allah, and you should never perform magic about or against someone without their will or without their consent. Everything that we do creates and attracts with others starts with communication and right relationship. Angels, benevolent gods and goddesses, fairies, benevolent jinn, benevolent dragons, and other allies of the light know and respect this. But because demons and dark spirits are lost souls who have chosen to cut themselves off from the light in search of selfish power, they need to feed off human fear, torment, victimhood, domestic and ritual violence, causing chaos and madness in home and workplaces, and everything that creates ugly relationships and negative energy. What God, Allah, Yahweh, Creator wants for humanity is for each of us to unify will and emotions with mind and spirit, to harmonize as creators in cohesive, right relationships. What the evil and destructive vacuum of the dark abyss wants is for humans to live in fear, fight, flight, freeze, and dysregulated states, so that our souls can become lost and serve the destructive abyss as demons and dark spirits. When I asked the angels what fear is, they told me that it is fake equanimity appearing real. I laughed at this clever acronym, but the more that I think about it, the more it is truly accurate. So, in this time of great change on planet Earth, and while we are watching the journey of Three-Eye Atlas, the remover of masks, I suggest that you ask yourself a few questions. What masks am I wearing to appeal to others? In what ways, mentally, emotionally, or behaviorally, am I being true and authentic to my soul? And in what ways am I denying or resisting embodying and fulfilling my Dharma, my soul's purpose, passion, and pleasure? In what ways can I be more mindful in my deliberations, in my conscious behaviors with peers and loved ones? What are my ill relationships, and what are my healthier relationships? What can I do to reconcile or improve any ill relationships? What is one simple practice that I can do daily to be more true to myself in an integral light? Brothers and sisters, imagine your life as an already finished masterpiece of magnificent artwork. Now rise from above that level. You can do it.